At 7:50 in the morning on April 16, 2022, a man walking his dogs in his Forest Hills neighborhood of Queens would come upon a gruesome discovery. As he approached the busy intersection on Metropolitan Avenue underneath the Jackie Robinson Parkway, his dogs became agitated and pulled him to a duffel bag on the sidewalk, where they began sniffing intensely. The man said originally he thought it was supplies for construction in the area, but after looking closely, he saw what appeared to be a body inside and lots of blood. Responding officers had no idea the horrific and twisted story that they were about to uncover. Orsolya Gaal was a 51-year-old woman living in Forest Hills, New York, with her husband and 2 teenage sons. She was originally from Hungary, where she was in school at the Budapest Business School College of International Management and Business, when she met her soon-to-be husband, Howard Klein, at a Christmas party in Budapest in 1994. He was there finishing a 2-year deferment to Columbia Business School. She would later move to New York City to be with him, and after a few years in Manhattan, they moved to the Queens neighborhood of Forest Hills. This is where they raised their family, and by all accounts, were happy. But the events on April 16, 2022, would uncover secrets, deceit, and rage surrounding this family. Friday, April 15, 2022. Howard was out of town with eldest son Jamie, visiting colleges. Orsolya had plans with her girlfriends to go see a show at Lincoln Center. She was very passionate about the arts and loved classical music. She had just seen her favorite composer days earlier and was very excited for this show. After her evening out in Manhattan, she returned to Queens, where she went to a local bar where she was a regular, and she ordered her usual Moscow Mule. She stayed there from approximately 11:30 to 12:20, according to the bartender that night. She arrived home for the final time at around 12:30 in the morning, where her son was upstairs asleep. By 12:40, Orsolya had stopped activity on her phone. Hours later, around 4:30 in the morning, neighborhood doorbell cameras would capture chilling footage of a suspected killer dragging a bag down the street. When police responded to the scene of the bloody bag, it wasn't hard to tell where it came from. There was a trail of blood that led half a mile away right to the home of Orsolya Gaal. Police made an emergency entrance and found a bloody scene in the basement. They searched the house and found the only person home was 13-year-old Leo. He was placed in handcuffs and taken to the police station for questioning. The members of the gated community were horrified, some having a literal trail of blood outside their home. Speculations began to circle around the figure in the doorbell camera footage. Leo would be released after what you can only imagine was a traumatic experience, to find out your mom has been killed and you are suspect number 1. Her husband and eldest son returned home, and authorities released information that Howard had received threatening messages from Orsolya's phone the morning of the murder, stating, "Your whole family is next." Police offered a reward to anyone who could identify the person in the video, but after forensic evidence was collected from Orsolya's phone, they wouldn't need the public's help. They suspected they were looking for someone that knew her because there were no signs of a break-in, and due to the extreme violence of the murder. The medical examiner would say she was stabbed nearly 60 times and had her throat cut. She also clearly put up a fight because she had defensive wounds to her hands and arms. Police also suspected it to be a crime of passion due to how sloppy it was. Their suspicions were confirmed when they reviewed evidence from her phone, and secrets emerged. Orsolya had been talking to 3 men at the time of her death, one of whom she had been having a 2-year on and off again affair, who she was communicating with hours before her death. That man was David Bonola, a 44-year-old married father of 2. He worked as an AC and heating repairman. He had worked as a handyman in their home on numerous occasions. Evidence from her phone revealed that she had ended things, and he was furious. So the search for David Bonola began. Records from a nearby hospital revealed that he had been there sometime after 6 a.m. to receive treatment for wounds to his hands. Police obtained evidence suggesting after he dragged the bag containing Orsolya's body nearly half a mile, he fled through nearby Forest Park, where they found a jacket, boots, t-shirt, and bloody bandages. But police would receive a shocking break in the case just 4 days later. On Wednesday, April 20th, David Bonola turned himself in to police at the 112th precinct, saying, quote, "I hear you're looking for me." He would give police a full confession, although some aspects of his story would change. I think it's important to remember just because he confessed doesn't mean he's giving the most accurate version of events of what happened that night. But we're going to get into the claims he made regardless. When questioned by police, he told them that he came to the house that night out of anger, claiming that she gave him HIV and he wanted to know why. He told police that she said she didn't have HIV and an argument broke out. Another version he gave detectives was that he went over to her house because he found out she was talking to another man and he viewed that as cheating on him. He claimed she grabbed a knife and threatened to kill him if he didn't leave. But the story the police seem to believe is the most accurate is that he was unwilling to accept the end of the affair and went to her house, arriving at around 12:40 a.m. She let him inside and, to avoid disturbing her son, led him to the basement to talk. She repeatedly asked him to leave, and he told police at that point he grabbed a knife and stabbed her in the neck. He claimed she kept fighting and they fell. He said he kept stabbing her because she was moving and trying to grab him, telling police she was attacking, even though clearly he was the one holding the knife. It's obvious, sadly, she was trying to protect herself as she was being butchered by him. After killing her, he tried to clean up the blood by using the family's towels, and he stuffed her body inside her son's hockey equipment bag. He admitted to sending the threatening text from her phone to her husband saying, quote, "Your whole family is next," and "You sent me to jail, now I'm back." These were in reference to someone who was sent to jail for burglarizing their home in the past. Bonola said Orsolya had told him about it, and he sent the text to defer attention to someone else. He told police he took her laptop with him and threw it into the Hudson River, where they used to meet each other because he claimed it had recordings of their sexual interactions. Although he confessed very matter-of-factly, police did doubt aspects of his various stories. They weren't even sure he was let in the house. They suspected he could have let himself in because he knew of a spare house key inside of the barbecue. But the events are undisputed. He was there, they argued, and he ruthlessly stabbed her over 55 times. He would be charged with murder, but he would agree to a plea deal, reducing it to manslaughter. And on November 16th of 2022, he was sentenced to 25 years in prison. This was really just a devastating case. I can't imagine what the husband had to go through to learn about his wife's death and her affair all at the same time. I mean, obviously, cheating is bad, and when you do bad things do come back to you. But no one deserves to die the way that she did. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to hear more of these lesser known cases, and I'll see you in the next one.